Hey, what's up? I'm back. I know it's been a while since I posted, but we're gonna, mix this whole song. It has been quite the process just to get it, mixed and everything. Yeah, I'm just gonna go over like my mixing process, what I do, everything I like, dislike. Hopefully you can learn something from it. Yeah, I'm just gonna get started. I noticed too from watching my other videos, I always say so yeah. I'm gonna try to cut that out. I know that could possibly get a little bit annoying. Let's just do our levels quickly. Let's do our levels. That's the number one thing when you're doing your mix is kind of just listen to it and try get like I would say around give yourself try -12 for everything. So essentially just have your levels everything peaking at level 12. Listen to low, just so you don't get fatigued and you want to protect your ears. That's what I tend to listen to. And you just want to yeah, yeah. Let me just fix this. So I'm just gonna go in, and it will get pretty quiet. So I want to bring it down a whole lot. Let's bring it down even more. The reason why I do that is literally because it just makes it sound clearer where we're not, at the edge clipping and everything and stuff like that. You want a lot of headroom, so you want a lot of room to work with. And essentially, once you bring it down to your desired levels, wait. Let's just see here. So that's a little bit. Wait, let's just. Oh yeah, I forgot that has its own level, so I'll have to go fix that as well. So let me just see here. So yeah, the volume. Get to bring that down a whole lot then. Let's just see what fits it. What's the kick at? So we're just gonna make sure we're below -21. I just want to see how that sounds with this. Cool. So yeah, let's get our levels good, and then this we could bring down a little bit more. Maybe about -12, we'll bring that down. Maybe about -8. That was right about there. And if you really can't tell, just mix in mono. So this is mono. There we go. So mix in mono just because you get a better feel of what your levels are. So we're not exactly mixing yet, but we just want everything, levels are key. So that was about 19, so we don't want it above that, so. That's pretty good. also didn't do this. Hold on. So there's a couple things here that I didn't do. So 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so then 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. We're just gonna go back down. What do I do here? So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay. So for 4 bars, I'll leave it right there. And then here I go down to -2. Okay. So make sure that this is there. And then I go back up to -3 at the halfway mark right there. So then we're nice and even. So what is that? +3? 3 semitones. Okay, there we go. And then we got that. So let's continue with our levels here. So I think the one thing that is standing out to me is the kick is kind of getting drowned out, you know, level wise. We could bring it even more out in the mix, but to get our best, most possible mix, right? And just so we don't wreck everything else, so since this is the kick here, let's put it at the end, right? Let's put it at the end, because we don't want to get too carried away with, you know, like, what is going on here? What the? Yeah, we don't want to get carried away here, so, yeah, bring it to the bottom there. So what we're gonna do, essentially, is we're gonna select this track, and we're gonna bring everything else down until the kick is, you know, pretty well. I think it could be a bit more, so let's bring it down a bit more. That's a lot better. So I noticed that the automation ones, that's a sucky part when you're mixing and you gotta like go in and do the automation stuff. So let's bring it around here. So gotta re-listen to it again. Jeez, didn't even click it. I also wanted to go check the bass. I'll do that last though. So now that we kind of got everything where we want it, I just want to adjust everything. You know, we want good dynamics. So let's just start from the beginning. Right. And so generally, what I like to do is I like to look at the main focus of this whole song, which is the kick. So before we move on, let's see where our kick is at. So we don't want anything too much louder than this. You know, that's just what I do. Different people may tell you something different, but that's just what I do because we want a strong kick, you know what I mean? So let's try not to go over 20 dBs, okay? So let's start with this one. And we just want to be conscious about what we're doing here too. So let's loop that there, because we want to be able to hear this. You probably can't hear it because you're on your hopefully you're not on your phone. So let's bring it up to 20, -24 right there, and then this one. Yeah, let's bring it up slowly. I think that's a good level. Negative 20. I think it could go down just a smidge lower. Let's go down to negative 22. Because we want strong dynamics, you know what I mean? So if we're too close to this, if this is too close to the drop in volume, it kind of takes away the energy from the drop, so it won't be as exciting. So let's bring this down to 17 actually. So 17, and then let's bring it down another to negative 23.5. So that's just what I'm kind of thinking. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. I don't know. I may do something different down the road. So I think this is good where it is too. I think that's good where it is. As well, the other most important thing about this whole thing is the voices. This can almost be the same level as the kick. So let's just bring this up until it hits that marker, negative 21. Oh, a little bit lower. I think negative 15. Maybe negative 16. We might have to do this individually, so. So let's do this. Actually, let's just bring this to 0. Let's bring that to 0, and then we'll bring this down. I think that's perfect. Oh, negative 69. Am I already mixing this? Oh, I'm already mixing it. That's crazy. Maybe we'll go negative 21. Negative 20. Oh shoot, I'm supposed to look at this. I think we could get away with that. And then we'll just kind of go over here too. We'll go to negative 22. A little bit louder because it kind of does that thing here. Takes me back to you last October. Before you broke my heart and said goodbye. I think it's good where it is. Let's see how it sounds. Oh, now that is something that we don't want either. So let's bring it down to about negative 22. One of these instruments is clicking. We'll figure that out later. Oh, I think it's my percussion. That's what I'm thinking. So that was a little bit much. So let's bring it down a little bit. It kind of seems like it's a little bit out of place. But hold on. Yeah, I think it's a little bit bassy. There we go. It's a little bit better. Let me see about this one too. I couldn't predict I'd be stuck like this. Wait, is this automated? Okay, good, it's not. Why is it so loud then? I could have been it. Oh yeah, I didn't do it. I couldn't resist. Not too proud. Let me down. So I think that's good. And then once we go over here. I couldn't predict I'd be stuck like this. Not too proud, let me down. And that just kind of comes out of nowhere. Where is it? Where's that riser? Is it? Oh, it's right here, I think. Is this it? Yeah, that literally comes out of nowhere. So yeah, we want to do this. Let's just find a good spot. I think -4. Okay. So let's do this, kind of right there. Oh, it's already on the automation. I think that's a good spot. So that's a good. Let's hear it. I think it could be a bit quieter. Yeah, I don't want it too subtle. And just for facts, this has to do with nothing. I want it to be a bit more subtle, so I don't usually use this. But I think it would be perfect for it. Yeah, just subtle. Let's see, what else can we do? I would really like, I'm noticing the bass is a bit quiet. I'd like the bass to hit a bit harder. Where's our bass hitting at? -24. Yeah, it could definitely be a lot more. Also too, I'll show you some cool tricks just on getting that really thick bass. And the reason why I don't do this is because when we do this, it just adds a little bit more character, and we keep some of that kind of, it's hard to say, but yeah. Also too, you also kind of want to shape your LFO tool to your kick essentially, so just want to see how big the kick is. Oh, it's way at the bottom, I forgot. Yeah, so it's about as big as a half, so that's why I got it at half. Just so there's like a lot of room for that kick there, so it's just kind of cupping it absolutely perfectly. So yeah, I like where that is right now. I think the main thing too is these. How does that sound in the mix? I'm hearing clicking somewhere. Is it with this? Oh, it is with that. Holy, I might have to go fix that. I might have to do that in the mix. Yeah, it was kind of boring. I was like, that's a weird. It's not even letting me grab the. And it seems like it's this one too. Whatever, we'll fix that when the time comes. At least I know where the clicking is. There's like this weird click there, so as well. Maybe we'll just boost this to negative 32 around there. Let's keep it right there. I think our levels are pretty much where I like them to be. Oh yes, I totally forgot about the riser, so let's hear the riser. Yeah, that's definitely too strong, so I keep saying that, so let's bring that down quite a bit. I couldn't predict I'd be stuck like this. I'm too proud and let me down. Falling apart because I can't see so good. Feel like I'm dying, but at least I'm the next thing seems like I gotta work on here is this part. Yeah, these are a bit quiet. You don't want that. Oh yeah, negative 40, so. And because it's not the full drop, we're just gonna put a slight sidechain on this 1-4. So I think that's perfect where it is. Okay, we got a pretty good idea of where we want our levels. The reason why I do that is because if you do that right out the gate, just work on your levels, no mixing at all, it really helps your mix. Like, for example, like if you're trying to like sit there and you've already have EQs and everything everywhere and you're trying to fix the kick, you're wondering why it's so low, so high, or so louder, you can't get it to sound good, doing your levels first really helps. Stuff like bringing everything down just to give more headroom for your kick, which I find really helps. So yeah, so once we start mixing, I'm not going to have that problem when I'm mixing. As well, you kind of want to keep an eye on this too. When we're mixing, we want more high end here. So we'll fix that. It just brings more energy to your whole mix. Huh. There's a lot of sharp frequencies there. So let's start, let's begin mixing. So let's do this one. I'm very tedious when I mix, so I kind of already EQ'd it. There's a lot of bass in here. What I'm kind of looking for is this will bring a lot of energy into it too. Let's check how the dynamics are. There might be some transients that, that'll make it sound more fuller. Not transients, but, bringing these lows and leveling them out just so it sounds very clear. Essentially, when you're doing your mixing, your compression, doesn't matter what compressor you got. If you just generally slow attack, slow release for longer sounding sounds, for example, like a piano, generally you don't want to have a fast attack, fast release, right? A little bit of a slower, it's kind of in the middle. For drums, fast attack, fast release, because it's short and punchy, essentially, if you keep that in mind when you're mixing, just kind of, this is more of a longer sort of compressor. That's kind of a rule of thumb when dealing with attack and release. And then ratio, kind of like, it's essentially what's letting by. So if I do this, right, I just bring the ratio back down. It's not really letting too much. It's actually pushing stuff through. So if I kind of bring this up, right, you'll notice that it's starting to come down a little bit, right? And what it's doing is that it's bringing all these transients to the exact same level. Okay, so we don't want to do that too much. We don't want it to sound like, if you over compress it, it'll actually create a lot more like punches and puzz and stuff like that. And yeah, compressors aren't really meant to like boost the volume of your tracks. It's essentially supposed to level everything out and bring the sound closer. Essentially, they're hard to explain. So let's just bring this back up about here. And I just want a subtleness to it, so I don't want to do that. So essentially the threshold, once I set a threshold right here, think of this as a roof, and you think of like the ratio as how much, I guess, sunlight is being let through the roof. You know what I mean? And so if you think about it, I know this is how I think about it. There's the more ratio, the more solid the roof, the less the ratio. Think of it as having a lot of holes in the roof, so it's letting in more sunlight, essentially. That's how I think of it. And then if you kind of look too, if you see how much we're bringing, volume we're bringing down, so that represents the amount of volume that we lost. So it's around -5, so right about there. So we'll bring it back up to there, and that's how that works. And then the knee is kind of like, if you think about it as like the transition into your compression. So if you want it to sound a bit more smoother or sharper, I guess. So this is no knee. So essentially it's like sharpening. It's kind of hard to hear at first. If you could think of like a knee, kind of like it's going like this. And as I bring it up, it's making the knee sharp. And then making it smooth. I don't know if I'm, saying it right, but yeah. So let's bring the knee just a little bit, because I just want to smoothen it. Generally, I don't use too much knee, but we'll just keep it like that. I kind of like where that is. And this is kind of like a spacious kind of sound, and we want it to surround us, essentially. as well for this video, I might just mix a couple of instruments because I want to take my time on this one. So we want this to surround us. So let's take a look at our stereo image here. So it's in the middle, right? And right here is representing our phase. So let's bring this up a bit. Okay. So I keep saying that it's surrounding. So let's hear it. See, it sounds so much more clearer, and it's a subtle difference. But if I did too much mixing, I could have wrecked this whole like the whole sound, and in the final mix it wouldn't sound very good. So the goal of mixing isn't to like you want a good production, essentially. So when you're making your sounds, your sound choices and stuff like that, you can't mix it and pull off miracles where it sounds really horrible and then you mix it and it sounds amazing. You got to have good production ideas, not production ideas, but sound choices are really important. So essentially you're enhancing it, and you don't want to ruin the sound too much to the point to where you're oversaturating everything and it sounds muffled and there's no energy and stuff like that. I've done that before. So let's do this. Let's get this done. We already got this instrument, like we got the bass covered already. Let's see right here. Let's boost it a tiny bit. I like the distortion that it's kind of bringing up top. So let's just boost it a tiny bit. Bring this in a little bit. I think that's pretty good where it is. We're gonna have this just right down the center. Let's look at how the sound is. Okay, so this is really... Let's just put my mouse here. Okay, let's bring it down just a tiny bit. Not gonna go too crazy with it. Just a tiny bit. We just want to level out some of those. It's about maybe 3 dB, 4 dB. There we go. A little bit of a longer release. Maybe a tiny bit shorter because there's a piano, so kind of in the middle. I think that's pretty good. And because this is more of a background sound and it's not going to be like too in front. See, this is a good example of over mixing it. If you just listen how much energy was taken from the sound just because it was over mixed. See, once I brought it back, see all the energy came back. Right. So let's just put 10%. And we'll leave this just right down the middle. Okay. Actually, let's create a ping pong effect, a delay effect. So let's go into here. So I kind of want it to kind of bounce back and forth. Ping pong. And we're kind of creating like that. So feedback. I don't want too much feedback. Maybe bring it down to 15. Let's see how that sounds. This might already have delay on it as well, so let's kind of take a look. Where's the delay? Lo-fi. Yeah, there is. Yeah, so we don't want too much. Let's leave it right there. I think that's a good spot. Let's work on this part right here. Maybe we'll get to the drop in the next video, so. I already put a low cut on here, so let's just kind of keep this. Yeah, let's make this a bit brighter. Just up here a bit, fill out those top ends a little bit more. Yeah, I think we could get away with, cutting out this bottom part. And then that leaves room for the other instruments. Let's cut out this part. Let's do this a tiny bit thicker. Let's bring this down a tiny bit. Essentially what I'm doing here, in case anybody's confused, oh my god, is I'm just kind of listening for and thinking about the other instruments. So the reason why I kind of brought that down a bit is because we're kind of, boosting around this area, right? So I kind of brought it down a bit, just leave some room. That's why I didn't boost this too much, was because we're already boosting this in there. I don't want it to overpower that. And I'm just kind of listening for harsh frequencies. Right. You can also, a lot of people do this as well, just to find harsh frequencies. There's not too many harsh frequencies. So that's why I didn't really do too much to it in terms of cutting stuff. If it's a super harsh, for example, that sound, the little I got here, there's a lot of, even though I cut a lot out of it, there's some frequencies in there that are kind of annoying. So let's put this to the right a little bit too. And two, it's kind of a cool thing. I like this trick. I want to use a stereo pen. I don't even know how to yeah, there. I think that's a good spot. So that's kind of it's on the right side now. And it's an actual, when you use the other ones, it's essentially just just a volume controller. So, we always do the voice last. That's what I do, at least. And I think that's it for the video for now. I did quite a bit of mixing today. This is going to be a lengthy video. So hopefully everybody learned something. I don't know if you stayed that long. But yeah, anyways, hope you had a good day. Huh?